Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. So today I'm going to talk about images in Divi. I'm going to talk about images related to SEO. So things like how to pick the right images, how to choose the right file names, the alt tags, the captions, descriptions, file sizes, all that types of stuff. We're going to cover that in this video. So let's take a look and get started.
In this video, we are going to be referencing the blog post for most of the time. So it's going to be good for you to open that in a new tab or follow along there as you're watching this video if you like to, if you're more of a reader, that type of thing. This is not like some of our other tutorials where I'm showing you where to paste snippets and all that in Divi. It's more of a process of getting our images optimized for our Divi website, and then some settings in Divi itself, which I'm going to show you. But for now, we're just going to start, and I think I have 8 steps here. So let's just start in. This is the guide for image SEO, and like they say, images speak 1,000 words, but they can sometimes be totally useless words or not helpful or not relevant. And this guide is trying to help you get there where every image that you upload has a purpose and every image is helpful for the SEO of that page. And that's kind of like the first one here. Use relevant and purposeful images. And I have this picture of a cat here. And basically what I was trying to illustrate here is that, if I'm writing a blog post and it's on how to master the art of computer programming, and I just throw this cat on the page, and it's just not going to be helpful. It's not going to be relevant, and that's going to confuse search engines. You have to have, relevant images that go with that page or that post. And it has to be, along with relevant, it should also be, attractive, eye-catching, something that is actually useful. And so, what I said, relevant and purposeful, and think of useful. Is this image helping to convey the message that this blog post is trying to do? All right, and so the key here, use a good quality image and make it be relevant. And it can be functional or decorative, and we'll get into a little bit of that later with alt tags. But, basically just try to think through the reason for the image and try to have a reason for the image. It's actually really good to have images on your pages and posts. So it really does help with SEO, trust me. A lot of my tutorials come up in image searches. So yeah, the next step after you've kind of decided that, your image is purposeful, now you have to decide what size of image you want. And now this one is interesting. Unfortunately, there's no right or wrong here, and it literally always depends. And don't you hate that type of thing where, you just want an answer, and it really depends. Now, Elegant Themes has this guide, and honestly, I'm just not impressed by this article. It's too many variables, and I don't think they convey that very well. Like a lot of people, I see people referencing this chart right here all the time. Oh, if I have one column, it's 1080 pixels wide. No. If you go to your website and I put this in here, it's going to totally depend. Now, I could have my gutters set differently. I could have my row under sizing. I could have my max width separate. Like right now, okay, so my max width is 1080p. All right, pixels. That's where they're getting that because that's the default max width. Well, what if I change that to 1081 pixels? Well, then all of a sudden this chart is wrong. Or what if I make it 1100 or 1350, whatever it is? What if I change my gutter width? So there's no right or wrong. I guess you can reference this as like a guide, but I don't know. I'm just not super impressed by that. There's no right or wrong, and I don't like that, in a sense, people are being told that here's the exact sizes you need to use. And yeah, use them as a starting point, but as you learn code and learn to use the inspect tool, you'll eventually learn that you can actually check the images and see how big they are in the container. And that's actually what we're talking about here, planning for scale. Like if I had an image that's, 1080 pixels wide, but I know I'm only going to be using it in a really small spot on our website, like an icon, or I know it's going to be 225 pixels wide. Well, that's not good. So you got to kind of plan for that. Plan for scale. It shouldn't be outrageously different. It should be really close. So okay, I guess I'll give them credit. This is helpful to get a starting point, but it's never going to be exact. The goal here is also to reduce image size. A large image is going to take really long to load, and that's going to be really, 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 really bad for SEO. There's so many factors. I think there's hundreds. But if your page isn't loading because of a big image, guess what? Google's not going to be too quick to show that page to anyone. And a really fast, snappy loading page is what they want, because they associate that with their search engine and providing really good results. So you need your photos to be really well optimized. So basically, I use Photoshop, and a lot of people do, but a lot of you don't have that. So I'm recommending this tool. It's called Pixlr X, and it's a free online photo editor. I'm not going to show you how to use it, but just know that you can go here, like you can open an image here. Let's say I open that one there of that cat, and you get a full editor here, and it's just so amazing that this is free. Here you can click on resize image. Here you could adjust this. Let's say you're only going to have this in a 600 pixel wide format. There you go. You could apply it, and then down here, I guess save, and then you can choose your name, and maybe you want it PNG or WebP format, which we'll get to. There you go. You can download it. So there's not really a good reason not to be changing your image sizes and exporting with a very close image size to what you want. Because of tools like this. So it's pixlr.com/x. That's a really handy free tool. And we talked about planning for scale, and WordPress does create a bunch of different sizes. We're going to talk about that a little later, but you can usually see this in the media library where you can pick the size, large, small, medium, and all that. And now file type, and then we just kind of talked about that. I said WebP or PNG or JPEG, and those are definitely, PNG and JPEG are the most common. There's not really a right or wrong here. There's just some criteria that sometimes helps you, determine, what kind of file type are you going to save those images as? So, like I said, PNG and JPEG, they're really common. They have the best, they're just standard. If you want the best clarity and colors, I would say JPEG, and of course, if you want a transparent background, whatever it is, you need a transparent background around the shape or logo or whatever, then you got to use PNG, and that's fine. Another one that's fairly new, that's kind of coming on and taking the web by storm, is WebP, and it's becoming a standard, and it probably will be the standard in a few years, depending when you're watching this video. A lot of different content delivery networks and some optimization plugins. I know with SiteGround, the SG Optimizer plugin now offers WebP, where it actually will take your PNG and JPEG images, and instead of offering that, it'll offer a WebP image, and it's just better. It's better optimized, and it's smaller file sizes. And then SVG is a vector. So you can scale it and you don't lose any quality or anything like that. So that would be probably more for logos and icons. All right, so use a relevant image file name, and this is probably going to surprise a lot of you. The actual file name is important. It kind of gets overlooked, and it does seem kind of strange, but you can actually help search engines by using a file name that tells the search engine what the image is about. And everything about SEO that we're talking about here, it needs to kind of be a cohesive thing where everything kind of fits together. You don't want the page title where this image is located to be something totally different than the file name or the alt tag or all that stuff. I mean, you kind of want it to kind of have a theme, and keep it all together because, Google's looking at the content of the page in order to, get the best results for you. And that includes images, and it needs to all kind of be cohesive. So let's just say, you downloaded an image or from the internet or from your camera, and it was like dsco3274.jpg, and you upload that. Well, guess what? That does nothing for search engines. They're going to have no idea what that image means because it says nothing. Instead, you should be descriptive. Maybe it's clouds in the sky. Say blue sky with clouds. And so try to keep the first part of the file name, the actual file name, try to keep that descriptive of the image. And then search engines will notice that. And also keep in mind the keyword or the key phrase of your website page or post. So if you're using a SEO plugin, a lot of times you can input, a key phrase. Basically, it's what you want that page or post to be ranked for in search engines. So kind of keep that in mind and keep your images close to that, like I was saying. And now kind of along with file size is compression, but this is another thing. Optimization and compression, these are another step beyond actually just the dimensions of the image. This is actually taking that image and reducing how much space it takes up. So when you upload, like I said earlier, uploading a big image is going to be really bad for SEO. And the size itself, if you have a real big image and the frame is small, that's really bad. But more importantly, if the image file size is really big, and it just doesn't need to be because we have so many amazing tools now. One of them I'm going to show you real quick is Tiny PNG. In fact, I use this for every image that you see on our website. Before it gets uploaded, I run it through here. Literally all you do is go here, click on there, pick your image. It runs it through its little compression, and right there it says, I think I already did this image actually. It saved me 20%. Usually it'll save me around 70%. And I had already done that image because I uploaded it. And a lot of times you can get more when you do it again. I'm not sure how that works, but run them through at least once before you upload. Like I said, 70% usually. That's significant. I don't have it written here, but I would never recommend uploading an image that the file size is bigger than maybe 200 to 300 kilobytes. That's like 1/5 of a megabyte. Okay, so that's just as a general rule of thumb, unless you have a really good reason for doing that. And then there's other tools after you upload. So I was saying before you upload, and there's a lot of tools, a lot of them after you upload. I can't even think of them all. I think one's called Smush. There's a whole bunch. You go to image optimizing plugins and you'll just find tons of them. But then, like I'm saying here, make sure you have a good hosting provider. They actually have their own optimizer plugin that does it for you. You can run it and batch run it on all the images that are already on your site. That's really, really a great feature. And now we get to alt tags. So first of all, I guess what is an alt tag? Well, so like if I'm adding an image here to this website and I come in here to my media gallery, I grab this, and over here you'll see this alt text field. And then right below it, it says, describe the purpose of the image. Leave empty if the image is purely decorative. And then it brings you that link. You can actually check out that link. It's a pretty good link. Here it's helping you decide if your image is decorative or, what's the other term here? Useful, I don't know. And it's asking you questions. It's almost like a self-survey, to help you determine whether you should be putting alt tags in there or not. And so in general, try to determine if the image is decorative or functional. If the image serves a function, then add some alt text, and don't bother if it's decorative. It's not going to be helpful. If it's just decorative, the search engines don't even see it. There's no point in adding it. Like if you have it in the background, like a background image, like in a section would be a good example. Like if I come in here and I want to add some little flowers or whatever in the background, and I set it as an image here, it's not going to be really purposeful. It's just decorative. The reason we want to do all this, let's say you had an image to your website and it's not loading right for whatever reason. Maybe it's too big or just there's a server issue or whatever. It's called an alternate text for a reason. It's because when the image is not there, it's going to show text as an alternate. So it's called alt text. So yeah, as a self-test for that, just pretend that the image isn't loading and ask yourself, if I couldn't see this image here, does the alt text that I'm putting into that field, does it deliver a clear idea about that image? So that's what you want to put right here in that field in the WordPress media library, either when you're uploading them or like if you want to go back through and do it to your images, you can actually go back through and just go through the media library and add it there. And now we get to things that used to be controversial in Divi. You previously had to manually take that alt text, even if you had it added here in the WordPress media library, you had to grab it, copy it, and go into the advanced tab, attributes, and paste it in here. Okay. You no longer have to do that. From now on, I forget what version it was, 4.4.4 on April 23rd, 2020. They updated that. And then they updated the image module and the full width module. It'll automatically pull it in. The gallery module was updated March 5th, version 4.4, post title module 4.5.8. So now all the modules that have anything to do with images, even the like I said, the gallery, that used to not pull it in because, it's a gallery of images. There was no slot to put it, like here in the advanced tab. There was no way you could do that because when you're adding a gallery, so like here I am in the gallery, there's nowhere to put it because you're adding just a whole bunch of images here. It wouldn't work very well. But now it automatically will pull it in. So we're covered. It's all good. So in the spring of 2020, all that was taken care of. And now captions. This one's kind of controversial, but I'll explain the benefits of using a caption. So caption is the one below title. There's alt text and title and caption. And this one's, like I said, is debatable for some people, but not for me. I think it's a really good thing to use. And in certain situations, not all. And here I say the key to remember is to not use an image caption for the sole purpose of SEO. And you might be thinking, what? It should have a secondary purpose. So the caption, remember, we're talking about the caption, not alt text or nothing else, not the file name, but the caption. It should not only be there to help you stuff it full of keywords and things like that. So don't be copying your alt text and title and just filling it in as the caption. That's not going to be helpful. Only do this if there's a secondary purpose. And you might be thinking, well, what's a secondary purpose? It's kind of a technical thing, but when it's a scanning thing. So when you're going down through the page, your eyes and then search engines as well will be scanning the page. And if an image needs a caption to just help explain it, to say or describe what that image is doing, then use it. That's the secondary purpose. And I want to show you an example here. I have a screenshot, but I want to show you on our child theme demo. So we do this on a bunch of our child themes for sale, but I want to show you here. There you go. When I hover over here, we're seeing two things. In green, we're seeing the caption. In the white, we're seeing the description. So back here, I'll show you those fields again. Click on any image. Here you can see caption right here. And so that's what you would want to do if you're using the captions in the gallery. And you can turn them on or off in Divi. I'll show you that real quick. Like here they're on. You can see them below the image. In my child theme, they're customized to be over top of the image. But here it is. Show title and caption. I might have been wrong about description. It might be title and caption, not description and caption. And use responsive images. This one's easy because by default this is turned on. Divi comes with source set. It's a responsive image feature, and WordPress came out with it too. I forget which version, but WordPress does support it natively now, and then Divi does too, so we're all good. It automatically will make the images responsive, and what that means, it doesn't actually like shrink or enlarge, the image. It's just choosing an appropriately scaled image for each screen size. So what I mean by that is WordPress and Divi actually make multiple, copies of the image at different sizes when you upload it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. If you didn't know that, it's interesting. And so it's choosing to show the one that fits that space best on each device size. So that's really cool. This is on by default, and there's just a setting over in theme options. So it's somewhere here. I don't even know where. Down here near the bottom, enable responsive images, and that's on by default. But if it would be off for some reason, just make sure that's on. That's going to be helpful. Here it says enable this option to get responsive image sizes generated when uploading images and adding source set attribute for images element. There you go. So that's going to be on, but I included it just kind of so you're aware of it. And that's my steps there for image SEO in Divi. If I've missed something, please let me know. Kind of hard to update a video, but I can definitely update the blog post. And I really hope that this was helpful. So be sure to take a look and let me know if this has been helpful by giving me a thumbs up and being subscribed, because this is what we do here, all about Divi, lots of tutorials and guides like this.
Okay, so I hope that was useful. We use images on all of our websites, and Divi's great with images for design and for the decoration in the background as well. So I hope that helps you to use images for SEO properly. There's a lot to think about, I know, but all of these steps, are important. None of them are magic tricks, but they are important in the overall scheme of things, getting your website and your content found in search engines. All right, well, I really hope that this has been helpful. If it was, please subscribe. We have tons and tons of videos here about Divi, so that's what you'll be getting when you subscribe. All right, well, we'll see you guys in the next video.